One of these days I'll have that fixed. One of these days I'll figure that out. But hello everybody. Hello. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy last weekday morning stream for me. This is more due to the fact that I'm switching job positions while also switching shifts at work. So that's going to be very interesting for me. Probably just going to be I'm going to be completely honest. I'm pretty much just going to be buying energy drinks tomorrow to kind of help me get through the first little bit of next week. So I don't know what streams are going to be available next week. I haven't really planned doing much during the weekday. During that first week. I think we're probably just gonna have a book reading stream on Friday. Probably get through another 4 chapters of The Hobbit, maybe. Saturday morning, we might do a build stream. I just need to remember where my... I just need to remember where my webcam is, because I do have a little apparatus clamp thing that's more meant for phones, but I've used it as a stand for my webcam while doing tests on other recording stuff. So here it goes, I guess. This is gonna be interesting. I've never done a tier list before, but I figured tier list wise, besides doing the normal this, that, the other thing. Wait, is there a... Oh yeah, I gotta get rid of that tag, because is there a tag for tier list? No, there's not a tag for tier list. Alright. What about lists? No. Okay, well then I'll just get rid of the reading tagging. Alright. Now I am tagged correctly. So I would hate to be not tagged correctly, because all that extra bullshit that I've read. I don't really want to get into that, but anyways. Yeah. This is gonna be very interesting. I feel like it's going to take we're probably going to be done in like 2 hours. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. We might even be done within an hour. Man, I didn't plan for that, did I? No, you did not. You did not plan for that. We'll look that up when we get to that. We'll see how this goes. For now. Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. This first one goes, because I don't exactly know how long that's going to be. Because even with me reading it off and thinking about it, I have a strong semi decision making skill, but at the same time, it's hard for me to choose certain things. And based on the categories I have, this is going to be very interesting. Now, these are all just my opinions on based on these spells. Mostly, some of them are going to have a little bit higher-ish, because for the most part, I'm probably going to choose cantrips for certain levels based on like how I've used them in the past as a D&D player myself. So this should be very interesting, I think. Again, not entirely sure how this is going to go, but we're going to make it work as best as we can. So, without further ado, let's just hop over there and pray this button works. You're very opinionated towards this? Ah, zombie, you're going to love this. All right, I pushed the button. And there's the chat box. All right. So let me grab my phone so that way I can pull up the spell app because I don't have our phone. All right. So originally I was going to make a list of my own. Turns out people have made them already. And yeah, this one's going to be a little bit hard to see. I do apologize about that. That's just how they made it. The other one I wanted to use didn't have I think it was, yeah, it didn't have green flame blade, but it had everything else. All right, or did it have a spell that wasn't even used in 5e currently? I don't remember. But we're gonna get through this best as we can. This should be interesting. All right, so first one is Acid Splash. And I'm going to be reading the spells off so that, okay, in case I have any non-D&D players, they at least know what the spells do for the most part. All right. All right, Acid Splash. You hurl a bubble of acid, choose one creature you see within range, or choose two creatures you can see within range that are 5 feet, within 5 feet of each other. Target must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 1d6 acid damage. Spell increases to 1d6 when you reach level 5. 11, 17. Alright. What's here? What is it? Artificer, Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Wizard. This, I have to say, this one, this one feels more situational. And then let me kind of just explain what I have basically said here. So God tier is just like, these are the spells that you always need, regardless of what goes on. These spells are more good for like roleplay, these scenarios, so you're not, depending on what happens based on like how your D&D campaign is set up and everything. Because you can't really see. Okay, can't see it. And then situational, it's like these are spells where like they could be good, but it's very situational of like how they're gonna be good. And then we just have okay, as in like these are interesting spells, but Acid Splash isn't bad for damage output, but no secondary effects. In rules written, you can only hit one creature with it. Hmm. Interesting. You can't hit. Oh yeah, that's probably why it's very situational. Because you can hit two creatures with it, but they have to be within 5 feet of each other, so that kind of makes it hard to do. So, all right. Next one on the list. Yeah, 5 to go. All right. Blade Ward. You extend your hand and trace a sigil and warding the air until the end of the next turn. You have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage dealt by weapon attacks. How is this not a cleric spell? Bard, fighter, rogue, warlock. Probably specify the classes. You can't use it, say, to burn a piece of paper or split. Written, by the way, is useful even in late game. I do not doubt that one of the spells we're probably going to get to if we get to it. I use that on all my clerics. I think I got an upgrade. Ooh, did that get an upgrade? I need to pull up my character. Yes, I got an upgrade. I need to double check and make sure if I got any extra key. Oh no, I don't think I got any extra. I don't know if a Blade Ward is like, it's okay. It's, if I were to mainly play the classes that allowed this spell for the most part, I probably would say that's pretty good. But since it's like a cantrip and you only get resistance for like your next turn, the end of your next turn, which depending on the situation, I feel like that's more of a late game spell. If you play games that allow cantrips as bonus action, Blade War is amazing. Hmm. I haven't really done that a whole lot. Most of the games that I play, we follow the rules of we follow the rules of basically if a level spell is a bonus action, then you can and the only way you can cast two spells a turn is if you cast a bonus action level spell and a cantrip. That's usually how it goes. Hello, Co. Yes, we're doing a D&D tier list. I've been semi planning this for a while, wanted to do this for a while, and with current things going on with EC stuff, we're taking a little bit of a break from the normal gaming stuff, and we're going to be doing some tier listing stuff. We're going to be going through all the D&D spells by level because I'm not sitting through 200-ish spells. I know some people can do that for character tier lists. I'm not one of those people. Uh, yeah. Next what? Booming Blade. This is one of my party members uses. It semi works half the time. It works for fighter, eldritch knights, rogue, arcane, trickster, sorcerer, warlock, and wizard. You brandish this weapon used in the spell's casting and make a melee attack against one creature within 5 feet. On the hit, the target suffers it. Weapon attack normal effects and become sheathed and boomed in energy until the start of your next turn. If the target willingly moves 5 or more feet before then, the target takes 1d8 thunder damage and the spell ends. Increases when you reach certain levels. 5 melee deals extra damage on the target on a hit. Oh, okay, now. And the damage to the target takes the 2d8. Both damage increases roll by 11 and so. Oh, okay. Now, okay. I was wondering why while listening to like I was wondering why I was listening to like the Unexpectables, something like Remy used this spell and it dealt extra damage. And my party member, since we were under level 5 at the time, was using it, but wasn't dealing the extra damage. I'm glad I kept my mouth shut. But okay, so I would put this under situational because here's the thing. it's got once you reach level 5, you're dealing that extra damage. But if the DM is playing the character smart or the monster smart, then it's not going to move and it's going to lose out on its ability to do that. On top of that, you also playing if they're playing a beast. This, the text is gonna, give me 1 second because that way too dark. It works well on the other screen. I need. I do agree. It does tell your people not to move. I've had that used on me. Try this one. Right? Good thing. Hopefully that problem. All right, back to but yes. Do agree. Does tell your people not to move. But still very situational. Still touch. And you can barely see that. But that's what we got to work with. All right. Any classes: fighter, electric stroke, arcane, warlock makes sense. Oh, subclasses: druid of the spores. I should make one of my backup characters that. Very interesting. Although our party does suffer from not having any frontline fighters, so well, actually no, that problem's now kind of fixed now since two of the characters are dead now. Really sad and emotional. It's a story for another time. Uh, create a ghostly skeletal hand in the space of creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against a creature to assail it with the chill of the grave. On a hit, target takes 1d8 necrotic damage. It can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. Until then, hands cling on the target. If you hit an undead target, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls until the end of the turn. The spell increases to 1d8 when you reach 5. Ooh. Okay, so that didn't. Step. It would be some. There we go. I like that one. All right. Chill touch is one of those stick 'em no spells. Hmm. It has 120 feet. If you're going after a lot of undead, then you're more guaranteed to hit something. So I'm put this and just like this is like a god tier spell. Like this is something you don't need to use it, but it's pretty recommended if you need to throw a ranged spell on a cantrip if you're like far off fighter, depending on how you play your character. Roll flames. A druid fighter eldritch. I'm going to be seeing a lot of rogue arcane trickster, eldritch knight, and sorcerer. You choose one non-magical flame that you can see within range, and that fits within a 5-foot cone effect with one of the following ways. You instantaneously expand the flame 5 feet in one direction, provided that wood or other fuels are presented in that location. You instantaneously extinguish the flame within the cube. You double or half the area of bright light, dim light. Change its color or both. Change lasts for an hour. You cause simple shapes such as the vague form of a creature and an object or a location to appear within the flames. Animate as you like. The shape lasts for an hour. I control flames, so many possibilities. It's a good spell. You know, that's exactly what I was thinking, and that's exactly where it's going. It is going straight into the art, into the roleplay section because this just screams RP spell. This this entire spell kind of just screams RP spell for the most part. We're gonna go there. I'm still gonna read it, but the next one's probably gonna go there too. Create bonfire. I think the next three spells are probably good, including what we just put into the RP spell, are probably gonna go in there. These feel like RP spells for the most part. Create. Oh, oh, one of my players actually, one of my group mates did use create bonfire at combat. So maybe I'll go in situation step. Let me just light everything on fire. I mean, you're not wrong. This actually is how one of my group mates actually did damage to somebody. Artificer, druid, fighter, eldritch knight, rogue, or king, sorcerer, warlock. You create a bonfire on the ground. You can see within range till the spell ends. The bonfire fills a 5-foot cube. Any creature in the bonfire space when you cast the spell must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 1d8 fire damage. The creature must also make the saving throw when it moves into the bonfire space for the first time or ends its turn there. The bonfire inflates the flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. Increases to 1d8. 8, 1, 2, 5, 11. So glad we're level 5. So great bonfire. Situational, it goes. Next up is Dancing Light for Artificer, Bard, Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock. I'm Eldritch Knight or Arcane Trickster. At this point in the game, it's a good tile denial spell in close spaces. Something to think about, but I don't want to meta and tell someone how to play their character. I don't want to pick a spell. Because I'm a cleric, I don't have really interesting. We haven't seen any cleric spells yet. Anyways, you create up to 4 torch-sized lights within range, making them appear as torches, lanterns, or glowing orbs. Hover in the air for the duration. You can also combine the 4 lights into one glowing, vaguely humanoid form of medium size. Whichever form you choose, each light set sheds dim light into a foot radius. As a bonus action on your turn, you can move up the lights to 60 feet to a new spot within range. A light must be within 20 feet of each other This one's a good spell if you need if you none of your players carry lanterns or don't have dark vision. Oh, though for the actually maybe not roleplay, maybe more situational because because I have used this spell with a previous character because none of the characters surprisingly had dark vision. Dancing lights is amazing for range casters. I think that's probably I'm gonna put it like as a situational spell. You can use it in roleplay scenarios, but you can probably also use it more for other other means. Like maybe as a distraction or maybe something else. It's very a situational type kind of spell, I feel like. All right. Druidcraft. It's for druids only, so this should be. Let me just take a sip of water real quick. Whispering to the spirits of nature, you create one of the following effects within range. You create a tiny, harmless sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be in your location for the next 24 hours. The effect might manifest static orb, skies, cloud for rain, falling snowflakes for snow, and so on. The effects persist for 1 round. You do this to make a flower bloom in a seed pod open or leaf blood bloom. You create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect such as falling leaves, puff of wind, or the sound of a small animal, or the faint odor of a skunk. Must be instantaneously light or snuff out a candle toward. What? Out of all the ones to be on this one, the last one doesn't make sense to me, but okay. All right. Druids be druids. I'm gonna go roleplay on this one. This does kind of feel like a roleplay type kind of spell. And I've only played a druid once. And that was for a level 2 one shot. And for the most part, that one was more of a roleplay session. I mean, we had battles, but being at level 2, you don't really get to experiment much with how druids work. It's kind of one of my that was one of my gripes about my current DM. It's like, oh yeah, you're starting at level 2. I'm like, okay, but you also have like no combat battle experience, so we could also probably end up dying really quickly if you're not careful. Little did you know, 2 levels later that we actually did end up losing characters. Now we're at level 5 without all of our stuff. All right. I don't have to say shit about this spell, but you know, playing a warlock and you're not playing Eldritch Blast, is it yes. But let's go on. A beam of crackling energy strikes down towards a creature within range to make a ranged spell attack. On a hit, target takes 1d10 force damage. The spell creates more than one beam when you reach higher levels. 2 beams level 5, 3 at 11, 4 at 17. You can direct the beams at the same target or different ones. Makes separate spell attack roll for each beam. A cantrip that can deal 45 damage. Yeah, if you play it right. Higher levels, it gets 3 attacks, and a warlock antagonist that can blast and give each +5 attack. Well, that's if they haven't decided to take a. Yeah, that's if they haven't decided to take like a feat at like every chance they get to level up their ability, which for the most part, getting multiple beams to increase the chance of creating exactly. So it's definitely going to be in spell. Do you have a warlock on our team? I am wondering if he. Oh, it's funny that you mentioned like a blade warlock because that's currently what one of our players is kind of playing. They're playing a. I think they're playing a swashbuckler slash blade warlock combo. But I don't know if he went into to a second level of warlock or if he went to a fourth level of rogue. I would think he probably went to a fourth level of rogue. Actually, no. I can't say. I know what I went into. I decided to keep going full on cleric because cleric. Plus, I really want that special ability at level 6 that allows me to fly in dim light. That would be so much fun. All right. Encode thoughts. How does this one acquired? Oh, because they have to be part of a guild? Put a finger to your head and pull on a memory. Hear a message from your mind, transform it into a tangible string of glowing energy, a thought string, which persists through the duration until you cast the spell again. The thought string appears in an red space, and if I faded view as a tiny, weightless, semi-solid object that can be held and carried like a ribbon is otherwise stationary. I need to go and start my day. Have a good stream. So, all right, zombie, have a good rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by. Got this spell while concentrating on a spell or ability allows you to manipulate thoughts. Others, such as. And thank you for picking up a codex, a grimoire. The only way to get back into the codex. Uh, you can transform the thoughts memories you read rather than your own into a thought strand. Casting the spell while holding a thought strand allows you to instantly receive whatever memory, idea, or message or thought strand contains. Casting detect thoughts on the strand has. This one. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in situational because I also gonna put it in okay though. But like this seems very situational. If only because this spell kind of seems like it needs. Maybe I should put it in okay then because it's like it's. Yeah, I'll put it in. Actually, I'm gonna put it in okay because it's like it's an okay spell, but like for it to do anything extra, you kind of have to have you kind of have to have extra things going on. So, I mean, this is this is an okay spell or like in situation. I should have created a third thing that's like mid between situational and okay. But for the most part, this is more. Uh, I feel like this works if you built your character as like as an interrogator or somebody who knows what they're doing for the most. Actually, yeah, if like they're like a master interrogator and they know what they're kind of semi know what they're doing. I don't know. Also depends on like how things. This is probably why I'm. Plus, this is not like a spell I would probably not use Also, it looks like you can't even fire it normally, so I don't. Guildmaster's Guide. Okay, I probably need to read up on the book that's currently from. All right, Firebolt. Artificer, Fire, Rogue, Sorcerer, Wizard. When we get into the cleric spells? Although there are only 9 cleric cantrips, so this semi makes sense. Uh, you hurl a mortar fire at a creature and object in range, make a ranged spell attack. It takes 1d10 fire damage. A flammable object hits by the spell ignites and it isn't warned or carried. Increases by 1d10 when you reach level 5. So many spells. What's the fun thing about cantrips? That some of them can level. Mm, mm, I really should have better category. I want to put this here because another good ranged attack and could definitely work well. Plus 20 feet. Yeah, we'll put that there. We'll put the God. Ah, being rated. Rydell, hello, hello. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. My name is Elrena. I am a Elven VTuber. Let me just get that shout out for you there and see what you're doing. Oh, you're playing Devil May Cry? Oh, I really need to play that series. Anyways, hello, raiders. As I said before, I am Zelrina. I'm an elf VTuber. I usually play a variety of games, sometimes RPGs, fantasy type of games, and if I am feeling courageous, maybe a horror game or two. But today we're doing a D&D tier list based on the cantrips. Because we're doing these based off of levels, because there's a lot of 5e spells. How far did you get in Devil May Cry? I know that. I think that one's more like a resi game, but also still is a fun type kind of game. Anyways, friends. Uh, it's just based on the name alone. I'm probably gonna check this into like a roleplay section. If only for bard, fighter, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, and wizard. For the duration you advantage in all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile towards you. When the spell ends, the creature realizes that you use magic to influence its mood and becomes hostile towards you. Creature opponent finds might attack you. Another creature makes seek retribution in other ways at the DM's discretion, depending on the nature of your interaction with it. Yeah, then that's definitely gonna be under friend. That's definitely gonna be under roleplay. If only because, yeah, because yeah, if only because that one. Right. For artificer, druid, fighter, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Wow, I, so many spells for all the other can't the other classes yet. Clerics barely get a whole lot, but we'll get to them eventually. Uh, use frost. Summon frost to form. See, runs a target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, takes 1d6 cold damage, disadvantage on the next weapon attack. Roll and makes for the next turn. Spell increases to 1d6 when you reach level 5. 5, 11, and. Let me. No, Frostbite's not going in okay. I want it to move. Yeah, now I can do this here. Between these two, a little bit better than that. Uh. What that disadvantage on the next weapon attack, though. Yeah, but that Constitution saving throw, though. Depending on someone's spell saved DC at the time you acquire the spell, it could be. Also, my curiosity is getting better me. I need to check and see when if I got an extra for them. I don't think I did because I got one to level 4. Okay, I don't get one till 10. Okay, that's fair. That's if I make it to level 10 at this rate. Combat's really hard in our session. All right, next up is Green Flame Blade. For fighter, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Okay. You brandish the weapon used in the spell's casting to make a melee attack against one creature within 5 feet. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon attack normal effects, and you can cause green fire to leap from the target to a different creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet. The second creature fire damage equal to your spellcasting modifier. Okay. Interesting. The spells increase to level 5. The melee attack deals an extra 1d6 fire damage at target hit, and the fire damage to the second target increases to 8 plus your spellcasting modifier. Both damage rolls increase by 1d8 by 11 and by 17. Although I've already been told that it's probably going to casters guild. I'm going to put this under situational. Because for the most part, mm, it does deal extra damage. Nah, it's going to be situational because it gets better once you reach level 5, but there's not going to be much of a there's not going to be that much of a difference once you reach that level because of how you're going to be reaching that. Because you pick that spell at level 1, and then even though you do small damage, so on. Actually, no, I'm changing my mind. It's going to God tier. We're going to make that work. We're going to make that work. Yeah, we're going to make that work just fine. If only because that makes sense for me. But anyway. I'm kind of blown relatively quickly right now. That's good. Somewhat. Let's see. Guidance. This one's going into role play. Because I use the spell. The first cleric spell. Of course, it's the first cleric spell. Artificer, cleric, druid. Touch one woodland creature. Once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 on the add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice. If you can roll the die before or after make you can roll the die before after make a check when the spell ends. Okay. Yeah. It's going into roleplay mostly because I've heard it used more as roleplay, and I use it more in roleplay settings than anything else. Because, well, it could go to God tier because of how things go. It is mainly more of a roleplay type kind of spell than anything else, which, it's not a bad thing, but all right. But yeah, for the most part, it's just games. Spells. Gus. Sees the air and compels it to create. Oh, classes for Druid Fighter. Man, they really gave rogues a lot. The Arcane Trickster a lot of cantrips. Although, if I remember correctly, they don't exactly get a lot of cantrips to be. I don't know. Yeah, I did play a Arcane Trickster rogue. Didn't really work out very well, but you seize the air and compel it to create one of the following effects. At a point you can see within range, one beating that you must succeed on a strength saving throw, or we push 5 feet away. Create a small burst of air capable of moving one object that is neither held nor carried that weighs no goes 10 feet away from you if it isn't pushed with force to cause damage. You cast a harmlessly sensory effect using air, such as causing leaves to rustle, wind to slam shutters shut, or your clothes to. This one semi screams roleplay. This kind of does scream roleplay. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it situational because it has that roleplay mechanic, but also at the same time, though, I can see a battle mechanic for it being that depending on if you do the first effect while in combat after doing whatever you need to do with certain other spells, you could cause an opportunity attack that could cause more damage to the creature that's currently in between a couple of things. I feel like that's probably a thing to figure out for the most part. I feel like that's definitely. That's definitely something you consider. All right, infestation. It's pretty dope. You cause a cloud of mites, fleas, or other parasites to appear momentarily in one range. Druid, fighter, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, and wizard. See a Constitution saving throw or takes 1d6 poison and moves 5 feet in a random direction. If it can move, roll 1d4 to this direction. 1 for north, 2 for south, 3 for west, 4 for wait, 3 for east, 4 for west. Oh, I can now. Yeah, it's even worse now, even though I read 4 chapters of a book the other day. The movement speed doesn't provoke attack opportunities in the direction rules block target doesn't move. The spell increases by 1d6 when you reach 5th level. If it didn't have the clause that said movement doesn't provoke attack of opportunity, I would put this as a god tier spell. I would definitely put that there because that's something you can use a lot. But I would put this under situational. I love how I have a mech category, but I just haven't had a chance to use light. Um, Artificer, Bard, Cleric, Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Wizard. Touch one object that's no larger than 10 feet in any dimension till the spell ends. The object says a bright light and 20-foot radius light for additional 20 feet. The light can be colored as you like, completely covering the object with something opaque blocks the light. The spell ends if you can't cast again or dismiss the action. Oh, if you cast it again or dismiss. I can't. If you target an object worn or held by a creature, the target creature must succeed a dexterity saving throw to avoid the spell. Hmm. Mm, I'm gonna put this under situational because what this is one of those spells that's like you could totally use it to inflict like massive problems for say a drow, a vampire, or undead that hates sunlight. Like it's so situational, and you have to figure out how it's got something. You gotta be smart about how you use it. So that's probably why it's going to be under situational. So, all right, lightning lure, fighter, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. You create a lash of lightning every. Well, create a lash of lightning energy that strikes at one creature of your choice that you can see within 15 feet of you. The target must succeed a strength saving throw, be pulled 10 feet straight line. In a straight line towards you, and then take 1d6 lightning damage if it is within 5 feet. Um. I'm gonna have a lot of situational spells. Okay. Oh, actually, at this point, no, I'll keep Matt there because it's good things to have. Like, this kind of seems situational for the most part because, again, you can use it, pull someone closer to you, possibly getting off like attacks of opportunity for like your allies to hit the person if they manage to pull someone closer. So that's going to be my reasoning based off of this. This is probably going to be a very short stream because I don't think I feel like I'm going to get through it. I'm probably going to get through this pretty fast at this rate, which is completely fine. I kind of expected it to be so because of how little spells we have to work with. So, all right, Mage Hand. Everyone knows about Mage Hand. Artificer, Bard, Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. Or Ranger if you were in Swamp Keeper. Yeah. Hmm. Things I need to look up. That's very. A spectral floating hand appears at a point you choose within range. The hand lasts for the duration or action. The hand vanishes if it's ever more than 30 feet away from you, or if you cast a spell again. You can use your action to control the hand. You can use your hand to manipulate an object. Open an unlocked door or container. Store or retrieve an item from an open container or pour contents out of the vial. You can only move the hand up to 30 feet each time you use it. Thing can attack, activate magical items, or carry more than 10 pounds. Which does get upgrade a little bit for Arcane Trickster, but roleplay for the most part. I mean, eh, one could argue you could also use it in combat for a very situational thing. Oh, I'm yawning. Like I feel fine for them. All right. Let me just give it. Okay. All right. Artificer, Druid, and Warlock. Magic Stone. Just one. The pebbles and with badge it. You or somewhere else can make a ranged spell attack when the pebbles thrown. The string. If thrown, pebbles range is 60 feet. Someone else attacks with the pebble. The attacker adds your spellcasting modifier, not the attacks, to the attack roll. On a hit, the target takes bludgeoning damage equal to 1d6 plus your spellcasting modifier. Hit and miss, the spell ends. If you cast the spell again, or the spell ends earlier on any pebbles, is still effective. Um, this is one. I'm gonna put this as an okay spell. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is probably going to be an okay spell. I don't. Mm, for the most part, this still screams it's an okay spell. I don't see much of a reason to have it be anything else. If only because as while it is good, it's more what could be situational. Nah, it's an okay spell. It's just an okay spell. Like you deal like 1d6, but if you cast a spell again, it ends early and extra pebbles. Mm, yeah, it's just an okay spell for them. Or mending. The spell for artificer, bard, cleric, druid, fighter, rogue, wizard. Spell changes a single breaker tear on an object during touch. There's a broken chain link, two halves of a broken key, one torn cloak, or a leaking water skin. As long as the breaker tear is no longer 1 foot in any dimension, you can mend it, leaving no trace of the former damage. The spell can physically repair a magic item or construct, but the spell can't restore magic to such an object. Well, if they break my spear, I'm gonna be pissed. Context. Current D&D game. My party is current after losing the two characters in a really hard ass fight, which we should have been more prepared for. Anyways, we are the four players that are alive are now captured, and all of our stuff is taken away. So there went my wyvern spear that can deal 7d6 poison damage if you fail the Constitution saving throw. I'm gonna be fucking pissed if it's used against me, because you know what's gonna probably happen. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun getting us back. Mending. Where would you go? Where would? Actually, this kind of screams roleplay. This really does scream roleplay for the most part. Like, I don't have a reason to use it. And for the most part, I feel like that's probably for the best. Yeah, message. Actually, this is probably also going to go into roleplay as well, if because message, artificer, bard, fighter, rogue, sorcerer. Wow, Eldritch Knight gets a lot of interesting spells. Who's arcane trickster? You point your finger towards one creature within range and whisper a message. The target and only target hears the message and can reply at the whisper only you can hear. You can cast the spell through objects if you're familiar with the target. Noise beyond the barrier. Magic silence. 1 foot stone. 1 inch cone steel. And then 3 foot left or 3 foot of wood blocks the spell. Okay. The spell doesn't have to follow a straight line and can travel freely around corners and openings. I mean, makes sense considering you have like 100 feet. Oh, I won't be able to cast spells because they took my. Oh, wow. All the parties kind of screwed because the living members are all spellcasters. So there goes all of our. Cool. I'm glad I remember. I'm glad I remembered about the spell focuses. Ah, oh, we're so dead. Oh, that's gonna be a. That's gonna be a. That's gonna be a fun time. All while my roommates just told him that detail, and he's just like, he sent me that. He sent me the gif of like Shaq doing the little dance, and just like, you're lucky your character's already dead, and you're playing a frontline fighter, but at the same time, we're all gonna die. Oh, it's gonna be fun, but yes. Um. Anyways, back to what it was. Message definitely role play. I say that as I look at the materials list. Yeah, definitely role play based. I'm not basing this based off of the material. I'm not going to base this off on like the components or anything. I'm just going to base it off. I'm basing this all based on the description of the spell itself, not any of the components or anything. Because if I did that, that's another list for another day. That's another thing to worry about is components. But if you have a spell focus, you're not really worried about focuses that much. All right, Mind Sliver. Ooh, gotta scroll back down because that blow. Do this. Okay. For fighter, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, and wizard. You drive a distorting spike of psychic energy into the mind of one creature you see within range. The target must succeed an intelligence saving throw. Ah, who uses intelligence anymore? Who's intelligent indeed? Anyways, definitely not me for the most part. Not like that's gonna come to bite me in the ass. What's my intelligence again? Right. I decided to take an 8 in intelligence so I could get the level 1 feat. Because my DM was semi nice. Because screw humans and their ability if to get a cantrip when they're at level 1. Puny humans. Intelligence saving throw or take 1d6 psychic damage and subtract 1d4 from their saving throw. A spell increases to 1d6. Oh, let's see. This is Here's the thing. I'm putting this at God tier. I could have put this in situational, but it's going up in God tier because you could if you want to inflict damage on somebody in an interrogation, you're like, okay, I mind sliver. Okay, and then they have to subtract a 1d4 from their next saving throw, meaning if they fail the intelligence saving throw because their intelligence is bad, and then you do the exact same thing again, they have to subtract a d4 from that roll again. And you can just keep doing it again and 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 again, and it's just like, what the hell? Just gonna keep going until like we. It's an interesting spell. All right, next up is minor illusion for bard, fighter, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, wizard, and I can pick this for monk. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you do have spell. Shut up! I haven't played Shadow Monk forever. I haven't played Shadow Monk before. Where the shadow? Your level, use your key points as an action. Characters. Additionally, you gain the cantrip minor illusion. Okay. I still don't like the fact that like you have to spend 2 key points to cast dart any of the other all the other cool shit you can do. Because at low level, it's not really worth it. You create a sound image of an object in a range that lasts a duration. Illusion ends if you dismiss it as an action spell. Create a sound. The volume can range from a whisper to a scream. It can be your own voice or someone else's voice. Lions roar or beating drums of any sound you choose. The sound continues unberated throughout the duration. Or you can make discrete sounds at different levels. Sounds. Cast an image of an object such as a chair, muddy footprint, or a small chest. It must be no longer larger than a 5-foot cube. The image cannot create light, sound, smell, or any sensory effect. Physical interaction with the image reveals it to be an illusion because things can pass through it. If a creature uses its action to examine the sound of a sound or an image, the creature can determine if it has an illusion. It must succeed an intelligence investigation check against your spell save to see if the creature is an illusion for it is illusion. Hmm. I'm gonna put this under situational. For the most part, this is a good way to. This is a good way to be like a sneaky sneak, and then you're not entirely worried about getting caught by anything. and you're not entirely worried about anything else that might happen. So that's gonna probably be what we're gonna do with that. For Druid Fighter, just a portion of the dirt of or stone that you can see within range that fits with a 5-foot cube. You manipulate it by the following ways. You target one area of loose earth. You can instantaneously excavate it, move it along the ground, positive 5 feet. Image, cause shapes, colors, or both to appear on the dirt or stone, spelling out words, creating images, or shaping patterns. The changes last for 1 hour. If the dirt or stone you target is on the ground, you cause it to become a difficult terrain. Alternatively, you can cause the ground to become normal terrain if it's already difficult. You cast the spell multiple times if it has you have no more than 2 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time. You can dismiss one. I want to say this is no curse spell, but I also don't want to have to. Yeah, I kind of feel like this is an okay spell. Not a bad spell. I feel like it's an okay spell. Hmm. Yeah, I kind of feel like this is an okay spell. One could argue it can also be situational, but yeah, turning difficult terrain into normal terrain is definitely good. But it's a very okay kind of spell. I'm gonna have any miss spells? Probably not at this rate. Poisons, if I could click it. Poison spray. Classes can use as an artificer, druid, fighter, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, and the wizard. Extend your head towards a creature you see within range. Take a puff of noxious gas from your palm. And the creature makes a constitution saving throw. Take 1d12 poison damage. Spell increases by 1d12 when you reach 5, 11, and 17. I I kind of want to put this yeah, situational. Because, again, it's got good stuff, but the Constitution saving throw makes it kind of meh. Yeah, the Constitution saving throw makes it kind of hard to pick for the most part. All right, next one up is prestidigitation. While I could say this is probably going to be a roleplay type kind of spell. I'm going to put it as godlike. Let's see. Artificer, Bard, Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. The spell is a minor magical trick that novice spellcasters use for practice. You can create one of the following magical effects. You create instantaneous, harmless sensory effects such as a shower of sparkles, puff of wind, or make magical notes or an odd odor instantly. Snuff out a light, candle, or a torch or small campfire. Instantly clean up or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. You chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic feet of non-living material for 1 hour. You can make a color, small mark, or symbol appear on an object or surface for 1 hour. You create a non-magical trinket or an illusionary image that you can fit in your hand that lasts an turn. If you cast the spell multiple times, you can only use 3 of the non-instantaneous effects that activate at a time, and you can just miss it as an object. I'm mostly saying this for the most part. It is godlike because you can pretty much clean yourselves up. You can clean yourselves up. You can heat pretty much everything up, and it's a good sneak kind of spell. Primal Savagery. I think I told one of my friends to play this spell at one point, but they kind of called that because it's for a druid. You channel primal magic to cause your teeth and fingernails to sharpen, ready to deliver a corrosive attack. Make a melee spell range attack against one creature 5 feet of you. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 acid damage. After attack, the teeth and fingernails turn to normal. The spell damage increases by 1d10 when you reach level 5, 11, and 17. And I can't. I'm so happy we got extra spells now. Like, that's gonna be fun. I'm probably gonna go under situational again. I'm gonna have a lot of situational spells, and that's gonna kind of bug me. But at the end of the day, okay, produce flame. Mm, this one's probably gonna be just an okay spell. Classes are for druid. Flickering flame appears in your hand. The flame remains there for the duration. Times neither equipment only shares a black light 10 radius and dim light an additional 10 feet. The spell ends if you dismiss it as an action. Cast it again. You can also attack with the flame, although doing so ends the spell. When you cast the spell as an action and let your turn on, you can hurl the flame at a creature 30 feet. If you make a ranged spell attack on the hit, takes 1d8 fire damage. Spell increases 1d8 when you. But never mind, I take that back. It sounds. By the name alone, it sounds like it's not going to do a whole lot. So situational. Again, it's going to be situational because you are going to. Depends on the party spec. Is the party dark? Does the party have all dark vision? Does the party not have dark vision? Like which part does half the party have dark vision? The other party doesn't. Again, very situational. So I have to. Oh yeah, I gotta ask. Okay, so back to it. Back to this. Reduce flame. Ray of Frost. Or Artificer, Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Wizard. A frigid beam of blue and white light streaks a creature within range. Make a range spell attack against a target. On a hit, it takes 1d8 cold damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 feet into the end of your next turn. Spell damage increases to 1d8 when you reach level. I'm gonna go here because if you reduce someone's steady by 10, you're doing pretty good, and you're still dealing damage, and it increases at level 5, so we're doing pretty good then. One could argue you could probably put that as a situational type kind of spell, but I think for the most part we're probably fine, so we're not gonna worry about that much. My microphone a little bit closer. There we go. Next up, resistance. I think I just Artificer, Cleric, and Druid. I think I considered using this spell. But I'm not entirely sure I would use it myself. So there's that. Uh, You touch one willing creature. Once this before the spell ends, the target can roll 1d4 and add the number rolled to the saving throw of its choice. You can reroll a die before the end of the saving throw. The spell ends. Okay, so it's definitely a. What do I want to do with this? Hmm. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it. I kind of want. Actually, I probably will just put this under. It's an okay spell. Actually, wait now. Resistance is going to be our first meh spell because it's for the most part like you cut it in his touch. Like you had to be right next to a person, and you got to cast it on the person before they make the save. So, and you got to figure out and you got to figure out whether or not your DM will actually allow you to do that. So there's that. That's the thing you got to figure out after that is how that's going to work. Because if you're not doing it that way, then ugh. I also feel like we're probably going to end early today, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Today's going to be a very small stream because, well, I feel like I could do the level one. Let's hold on. Let's see if this site actually has level 1 cantrips. And that will decide what I want to do. If not, I'm going to have to go through the ridiculous tier list editor thing. And that's going to take too long. All right. E&D 5E level. My caps lock on? Yes, my caps lock's on for some stupid reason. Five E level. Let's see. We have 9th level spells. Which is not a whole lot considering like at level 9 you're pretty much a god of that. Alright, so let me. First level spells. There should be. Level spells, level spells. Ultimate final be a tier list. Okay, level 1 cleric spell list. I mean, I could do the level 1 cleric spell list, but that wasn't really doing me. 2E wizard spells, archetype search spells. This not here. Recency or gateway. Okay. Let me try to narrow down the search again. D. Okay, buddy. D. First level. Okay, we don't have a first level spell thing, which means I need to make the list probably. Yeah, I need to make the list. So that's not happening today. Which is completely fine by me. I do have to figure out that I do have to mess with that, figure out how that goes, because they have a cleric one, but I kind of feel like I need to do that based off of the cleric one as well. I don't feel like it would make sense for me to do it based off of just like one character sheet. Although I'm basically anyways, we will finish this off. And then we'll figure some stuff out, I guess, because this is going to be a very short stream. I'm not really planning on doing a whole lot. Afterwards, because if there was the spell list for the first levels, we would have done those. Oh, you know, we could do the cleric ones, we can do the cleric one just for fun. I got no problem with that. All right. Sacred Flame. Cleric. Flame-like radiance descends on a creature you see. With the the target must succeed a dexterity saving throw. Or take 1d8 radiant damage. The target gains no benefit from cover from this saving throw. What the hell? Alright, Cloud Disclaimer subclasses Sorcerer, Divine Soul, Warlock, Celestial. That's fucking godlike right there. I don't fucking care what you say. Like, that's going there. That's perfect for where that's at right now. That's perfect. Although, I don't play Sacred Flame, though. Of course, to be fair, though, again, it's one of those things. You don't have to play any of the spells that are in the God tier. That's just what I put up there because I think that's how amazing these spells are in terms of capabilities and what they can do. So, yeah. Probably should switch. Zapping Sting. This Wizard, Chronography, and Wizard Gravity. Okay, so it's only for 2 Wizard spell classes. So this is probably going to go into an okay spell. Actually, you zap the vitality of one creature you see within range. The target must succeed a Constitution saving throw or take 1d4 necrotic damage and fall prone. Yeah, that's an okay type kind of spell because 2 reasons. One, actually, no, 3 reasons still. One, it's for only 2 wizard subclasses. 2, the 1d4 necrotic damage. Like, while I know 1d4s are great and all, like, that doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, the falling prone's pretty okay, but like 1d4 for necrotic? Man, that kind of don't seem right. But then 3 being like the Constitution saving throw. I feel like early levels, yeah, that might work. That might work for the most part, but for the other parts of it all, it's really going to be one of those odd things. Yeah, because depending on what level you are, what you're facing, their Constitution modifier is going to be insane. Shape water. For Druid, Fighter, Rogue, and Sorcerer and Wizard. You choose an area of water that you can see in range, falls in the 5 feet cube. You manipulate with one of the following ways. You instantly move or otherwise change the flow of the water as you direct it up to 5 feet in any direction. This movement doesn't have any force damage. You cause the water to form into a simple shapes and animate in your direction. This change Lasts for 1 hour. You change the water's color or opacity. The water must be changed in sync with the water. You freeze the water, find the other creatures in it. The water unfreezes in an hour. You can cast the spells multiple times. Mm, it's an okay spell. I could argue that it's situational because you can probably get water into like say like because it doesn't say anything about it being able to be in a moving into like a water sack or anything. It doesn't say anything wrong about that. So for the most part, that's pretty much doesn't say anything wrong about that though. So I could argue that. Yeah, I could argue it being that way. But it's at this point it's just an okay spell. All right. This one I'm going to mispronounce, and that's probably fine. Shillelagh. I'm not going to. In the player's handbooks for Druid, the wood of a club or quarterstaff you are holding is imbued with nature's power. For the duration, you can cause spellcasting ability instead of your strength for the attack and the damage intervals of melee attacks. Using the weapon, damage die becomes D8, and the weapon also becomes magical if it doesn't already. The spell ends if you cast it or gain it. But it only lasts for a minute though. But druids are not known for their strength. I'm gonna put the. I kind of want to put this under. I'm gonna put it godlike. It's god tier. It's a god tier spell for druids because, again, I don't. Depending on how you build it, you're not gonna build your druid based on strength. You're gonna build it based on something else, and I don't remember what that something else is because I've only played a druid once. So it's something to work with in the meantime. All right. Shocking Grasp for Artificer, Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, and the Wizard. A lot of wizard spells, although to be fair, wizards are like the supposed casters who can cast everything. Well, anyways, or is it the I forget what the term is. Lightning springs from your hands to deliver a shock to a creature you touch. Make a melee spell attack against the target. You have advantage on the next roll if the target is wearing armor made of metal. On a hit, target's 1d8 light. Situational because one, you gotta be up close. Two, they have to be wearing armor, and yeah. That's how that's gonna go. Alright. We're almost near the end, guys. We're almost near the end. Spare the dying. You're a cleric. You better be fucking you better fucking have this spell. Just saying, it's going to the god tier because motherfucker, it's going there. All right. You have spare the dying. You touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. The creature becomes stable. This spell has no effects on undead or constructs. This could save a party. Now, granted, if I had spent my time focusing on saving my other friend, we would have left with one friend and not two. But I was greedy and wanted to kill a little shitty fucking kobold. And our DM's just like, no, don't kill Conrad, don't kill Conrad. Like after it's like, dude, you like almost one-shotted one of our players in the surprise round. You don't get to talk. You don't get to talk about keeping it alive. So yeah, you don't get to talk about keeping it alive. All right. Yeah, this could break or save a party, and I'm keeping it as a cantrip. All right, next on the list after Spirit of the Dying is Sword Burst. Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, Wizard, and Warlock. You create a imaginary circle of spectral blades that sweep around you. All their creatures in 5 feet. You must make a dexterity saving throw. Take 1d6 force damage. Mm, situational. I think depending on the situation, if like you're basically using this as a way to get like people out of the way, then yes, then that's something you could definitely do. It's a great way to clear the room, that's for sure. All right. Thaumaturgy. Is it really only a cleric spell? Okay, but it also can be ranger for Dark Drake Warden and Sorcerer Divine Soul. You manifest a minor wonder, a sign of supernatural power within range. You create one of the following effects within range. Your voice booms within 3 times loud. You cast one flame flicker, dim a light color. Cause a harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute. You can create instantaneous sound that ordinance from a point to stand within range. This is a rumble of thunder, cry of a raven, or ominous whispers. This could cause an unblocked door or window to fly open or slam shut. Oh, you can alter your appearance on your eyes for 1 minute. Cast the spell multiple times. Okay, so that's very interesting. And it doesn't have anything. Situational. I think definitely situational. I also probably should have been. I should be looking at my spells and using them way more than what I use them for. So right now, I'm not using half of these spells as much as I should, and that is a problem. Yeah, that's a big problem with me right now. Is that I need to use these. I need to use some of my spells a lot, my cantrips a lot more than I do, other than the normal ones. So that's going to be an interesting thing once I figured out all my spells. All right. On to the next one. Thorn Whip. In Artificer and Druid. You create a long vine-like whip covered in thorns that lashes out at your command towards a creature in range. Make a melee spell attacks on a creature. If it hits, takes 1d6 piercing damage. If the creature is large or smaller, you can pull the creature up to 10 feet closer to you. The spell damage increases to 1d6 when you reach level 5, 11, and 17. I'm going to put this under situational. Because, again, it's one of those, you can probably end up using it to pull someone closer, but also giving other people a chance to do opportunity attacks on said creature to get extra damage out. Thunderclap. For Artificer, Bard, Druid, Fighter, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. You create a burst of thunderous sound, which can be heard 100 feet away. Each creature within range of you must make a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 thunder damage. The spell increases to 1d6 when you reach level 5, 11, and 17. Okay, I'm going to slap that under situational. Because here's the thing. You could be surrounded by a bunch of bad guys and you're like, fuck this. Ow. I just smacked my arm on the mic because my mic's still a little too low. That's a nice way to wake up in the morning. But anyways, yeah, and then you can clear the room, get rid of the things for the most part. But there might be an accident. You might also accidentally knock out your own allies, and that's kind of a problem because it just says 5 feet. Create a burst of thunder sound which can be heard from each creature within range other than you. So it's a 5 foot. This makes me think it's like 5 foot in every direction. Soul of the Dead. If you're not playing this as a cleric, what are you doing? This is God tier. You point at one creature you see within range because it's used for cleric, fighter, rogue, warlock, and wizard. If you're not playing this spell, what are you doing? Oh, and could be used as sorcerer for elemental. You point at one creature you see within range. The sound of the dolorous bells fills the air around it for a moment. The target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or take 1d6, 1d8 necrotic damage. If the target has missing any of its hit points, it takes 1d12. The spell ends increase. Spell damage increases by 1 die when you reach level 5, 12, 11, and 12. I've reached level 5, so now I get 2d damage, 2d12 damage. I'm so ready to do more damage. Also, didn't my spell save DC go up by like 1 because we got more proficiency? It did go up by 1. And that's pretty fine by me. Alright, we are on to the last 3 spells. True Strike. For Bard, Fighter, Rogue, and Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. You extend your hands and point a finger at a target in range, and your magic grants you a brief insight on the target's defenses. On the next turn, you gain advantage. I'm gonna go with it's an okay spell, but you could argue probably it is situational, if only because it's like you would gain advantage on the next attack. So if you were to make a spell attack or anything, you could do something with that. Although if you're like a fighter or rogue, it's pretty good for rogues. But again, it's very situational. It's an okay spell on its own. It's an okay spell, but it'd be situational based on the class that you're using it for. We're not talking about Vicious Mockery. That's going God tier. You literally get to pick. You literally get to say shit to people. For Bard, or if you pick different feats, it's gonna go different things. You unleash a string of insults. Lace with subtle enchantments on a creature you see within range. If the creature can hear you, though it needs it not need to understand you, it must succeed a wisdom saving throw, take 1d4 psychic damage. At disadvantage on the next attack roll before it makes the next turn. It increases by 1d4 when you reach level 5, 11, and 17. Now, I know I made, and I know I made the, I think it was, I know I made the thing about that spell, that wizard spell that did 1d4 damage. Damage only to knock someone prone. Based on a constitution saving throw, but how did I put that on? Where did I move that to? I'll double check that later. I think, or did I put that in OK spell? I think I put that as an OK spell because that would have been, I think it was this one. It might have been this one. Because no, resistance is just a meh spell. But no, Vicious Mockery. I mean, you literally get to insult the person for the most part for doing that. And I think if you have, I think there's a feat or a bard feat somewhere where you can pick, you can do it as a bonus action. Or am I thinking of something else? I think I'm thinking of something else. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of something else. Okay, never mind. Word of Radiance, Cleric. You utter a divine word. Word and burning radiance. After you, each creature with your choice that you can see within range must succeed a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage. Each creature of your choice that you can see within. Wait, you can. Holy, what? Why haven't I picked this spell? Oh, right, because it requires me to have a verbal. It's a verbal spell. So this is probably going to be a situational spell. I think that's probably what's going to happen with this. It's very situational. All right, let me grab the snippet tool so that way we have this. I can post this later. Then we need to save your list. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I'll spell it out later, but here we go. We got through all the cantrips. And pretty much within almost 2 hours. Because that was 46 spells, 79 spells. Okay, yeah, I feel like that is probably why we haven't, because it's 79 spells. $85 spells. Okay, that's probably why no one has made spell lists for any of the other categories, because there's like a shit ton of spells. And we barely just got through like one of them. Oh, okay. Yeah. I will have to make the spell list for level 1. And I had to make the spell lists for everything else. 73 for level 3. Level 4 has how many spells? 51. 61 for level 5. 48 for level 6. 28 for level 7. I might combine 24 for level 8, and then I think there's only 22. Yeah, I'm probably going to combine if I were to make the list, I'm probably going to combine the last two. Which I'm probably going to. I'm probably going to make the last two the same. If only because there's not a whole lot of reason to even... Yeah, there's not exactly a whole lot of reason to use half of that stuff, and I gotta figure out everything else. So we're gonna go with that. I just... Yeah, I think we're gonna end it today. I need to make the next list. I don't think that's gonna... Depending on how things go next week, there might be another tier list, or it might be just... I might do a... Yeah, there might be another tier list, or I might just do a build stream on Saturday morning. Depending on how I feel based on how the week went. But I know for a fact on Friday we are doing we are doing the reading stream. We are doing that. That is what we are doing that. We're definitely doing that. That's definitely something we need to do. I want to do that on like a regular basis. If yeah, I kind of want to do that on like a regular basis. I think. Yeah, I want to do the reading streams on a regular basis just to be a nice way to just kind of relax. I think I said this on Twitter too. Yeah, I said this on Twitter. It's more of a relaxed thing. Let me switch to the chatting screen. Curse that button. But yeah, I think we are relatively done for today. We going to read today? No, oh, microphone, no, microphone, no, 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 oh, don't do that. Yeah, who am I gonna rate today? It's currently streaming. Uh, You know, let's go raid Prima. I haven't raided her yet, and I've been part of her little Discord for a while, so I feel like that's probably fun. Let me pop. Pop that real quick so I can copy and paste her name real quick, because that's usually how you, that's basically, that's the easiest way to make sure you get. The best way. All right, and then, bloop. Oh shoot. You go this way. All right, let's hope this. Oh, it combined onto there. I got it lean closer because this laptop is not. Okay. Okay, I guess I can grab all the art. All right, here we go. Go through. It went through. Perfect. All right. Keep an eye on the Twitter, and we will go from there. Later, guys.